I know who you are. You're a hero. You can help save the planet. We cannot be free enough to destroy ourselves and the rest of the world. With freedom and intelligence comes great responsibility. Humanity must become ecologically sane. Humanity's greatest endeavor is to live a lifestyle that is beneficial to the planet. Let's act like an intelligent species that understands that we are a part of a living ecosystem and that we all depend on the health of that ecosystem to survive. But yeah, like sometimes I just want to go out and relax, and I just end up finding trash, and I end up starting to pick it up, and then I walk around with handfuls of garbage, and I look crazy, and I feel like I also, because I'm a veteran and I collect a pension, that I have an opportunity to spend time picking up trash, and other people are in the rat race. I don't know why I think a lot about what people think, but I kind of like want to help motivate people to do the same thing. My name is Jose Oscar Mediavilla, and I'm 37 years old. I'm from Virginia Beach. That was high school, middle school. Before that, I was in South Carolina. I'm a Navy brat, so my father moved around different states. I was 18 when I went into the Marine Corps, and I served 7 years as a combat photographer and videographer. They kind of forced me onto a path that I didn't want. At first, I wanted to draw. I was an artist, and I wanted to draw. And so the Marine Corps had a job as an illustrator. Like, you could be a combat illustrator, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go for that. And they told me, no, you're gonna be a photographer and a videographer. And so I was forced to learn photography, I was forced to learn videography, and I started doing documentary work. And yeah, like, I wanted to be a documentarian, and I started watching lots of documentaries, and that woke me up, was watching documentaries.
Almost every piece of plastic ever made is still on the planet in some form or another.
Oh, look at that.
Absolutely no doubt that this bird died as a result of that plastic.
What's leaving land heading out to sea is all the single-use packaging. It's the straws, the bags, the bottles, the cup lids, the stir sticks, all this junk.
But when tiny fluorescent particles of polystyrene are added to the water, they eat those
8 million
instead.
metric tons of plastic trash enters the sea from land every year. The equivalent of 5 plastic bags filled with trash for every foot of coastline in the world.
I don't know if I could reach it, but you can see the fishing string that's caught with that branch right there, and I want to get it. Sometimes you just have to get wet. I don't know if I will be able to get it. Got it. It wasn't until after the Marines and I started thinking, all right, well, I want to continue to, I fell in love with video and editing, and the whole process was really enjoyable to me. Then Occupy Wall Street happened, and I was motivated. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be part of the revolution. We're gonna change the world and make it a better place. I just learned so much about many different issues that I didn't even realize that the documentaries didn't cover. And it just made more and more sense to me that that's where I belonged, that that's where I needed to be, that those are the type of people that I needed to make connections with and work with. And that's the best part about, I feel, any type of protest. And I think that people that protest in the streets, that's the key thing that we want to do, is make connections. You know, they fed us 3 square meals a day. I was able to camp at the park for a couple months until the raid came and they evicted everybody. And before the eviction took place, I had already lost my apartment. Thankfully, with my connections from Occupy Wall Street, I was able to connect with these people from Occupy Farms. And there was a farm on the last stop of the Harlem line in Wassaic, New York, that took in a lot of occupiers, and I ended up going there, and that was my introduction to nature. It made me connect with the earth. It forced me to build a relationship with the earth. And it was something that I was missing in my life, and I wish that other people can get. Ooh, it's like a relationship that's missing in people's lives. But again, it's by force. It's like the system forces them to do this. Like, you have to go to the store, buy your food. You have to, you know, have a place to be and pay rent. And people want it because it's convenient, because it's like they don't know how else to live. Like, I tried to live outside the system and I couldn't do it. They called the cops on me for foraging because they thought I was some crazy guy doing some crazy stuff. They don't realize, oh, you know, this plant is edible and it's nutritious, more nutritious than the conventional pesticide lettuce that you buy from the store. And all I'm doing is, you know, foraging. And it's strange to people. But that's how we live for thousands of years. You know, you get used to going to sleep when it gets dark and waking up when the sun comes up, and you get in tune with the rhythms of nature. I can understand why people want to be ignorant, because it's a lot to take in, and people could get pretty depressed. If you look at the facts, you look at all the different reports on what's going on, it's like, it's really serious. It just breaks my heart that we cause so much suffering when life is hard enough as it is for animals. And here I am, I'm picking up this little space. But the world is a big world, and there's billions of people, and all doing the same things, you know, causing the same mess. Thank God there are countries that they're starting to realize, like, and they're banning plastic.
Plastic pollution is a global challenge. You've all heard the stories and seen the photos. And to be honest, as a dad, it's tough trying to explain this to my kids. How do you explain dead whales washing up on beaches around the world, their stomachs jam-packed with plastic bags?
A lot of people want to simply deny what 97% of scientists are telling us, that we're in trouble, that it's our fault. We need to look at it seriously. Yes, we need to panic. Yes, we need to look at the facts. Yes, we need to go through that emotional stress of realizing that the massive amount of harm that we as a species are causing on this planet. And we need to also realize that there are solutions, and the solutions are obtainable. I think that the more people that actually take some time to do something productive like this, the better. Like, the natural world that we depend on to survive really is like screaming at us to do something. The only thing I could think of in my local town was to hold a sign and to engage people in public and to go out there and do what I can. Me, I'm picking up trash every day because I see it every day. Like, every time I see it, and every time I pick it up, I'm like, okay, that's one less possibility that an animal will eat this thing and die a horrible death. I almost kind of wish that, you know, in school they would show these videos to children, because then maybe the children will grow up with better habits and better ideals. It's almost like the education, we need to get it while we're young. The systems that sustain our existence are a threat, and people don't understand that. People aren't connected with it, and they really need that connection, and I don't know how to give it to them besides trying to share. We could create hell on earth, or we could create paradise. And why not paradise?
I've been assured that the explosion was exquisite. Couldn't find a moment later, I don't need to be specific. If you see me on the street, point me out, cause like so many things in life, I'm not sure if I ever existed. The king is dead, long live the jester. Come on, lean back, give us a great big smile. I give my last breath to impress her. Church of Madness, leading the game in style.